Alright, this one's called Why War Won't Work with Gen Z. Heard. It's pretty good. Top of my list.
Every couple of
Yikes,
generations,
here we go.
one generation is bound to experience the most life-changing events in history. And so far, it's looking like Gen Z is fitting the boot. Okay, maybe that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but can you blame me after all the things we've had? Most of us were born around the time or after one of the most devastating terror attacks in modern times.
I was born
We
the
saw our
same
parents
year
trying to
of
keep their
9/11.
sanity during the 2008 financial crisis. As soon as we stepped out into the
It did
real
bother
world as
me.
adults,
Apparently,
everything decided to
2008
shut down
was
because
so
of COVID in 2020. We've been having drills since we were 5 at school
We
in
were-
case a
we were pretty
lunatic comes
fun,
in and
Kim.
mows the whole
Yeah.
school down. And now to add the cherry on top, we may be running back to draft and being put on the warfield. Excuse me, I meant you guys may be running back to draft and on the warfield. I just found out I'm highly on the spectrum, so unfortunately that means I can't qualify. But good luck, future soldiers. I'll give y'all each a high five and you can have fun on the battlefield. It's crazy how Gen Z is kind of running back what millennials had. Because millennials had a war growing up with a terrible economy and had to worry about if they could even afford a house. But man, at least they had good music coming out. What the f do we have for these turmoil times? Lil Mabu? I don't think
People loved, I even listened to Hey Now. That song's great. Oh, look at these champs. These are my boys right here.
I really have to explain too much what's going on. If you don't keep up with the news, you've probably seen the memes already about hitting 360 no-scopes on the battlefield. But the United States of America officially got involved with the Israel and Iran conflict and decided to drop 3 bombs on what they say is their nuclear sites. But of course, that's just a theory. A game theory. Alright,
I mean,
sorry.
they
I need
blew
to
it
take
up.
this
It's not a
matter
theory.
seriously.
They
Now, I'm
did
not
it.
gonna say too much of my
And I
personal
think it's
opinion
fine.
on it and break this down like it's a 5-hour political podcast. I usually say and talk about things more on stream, so definitely go follow me on there in the second channel. But it's not surprising that everyone is scared online and doesn't know what's gonna happen. You know, in the past, you usually didn't have a president tweeting that they bombed a country, then posting a low PNG photo of
That's my boy. Look at this. Look at this. That's the American flag right there. Isn't it amazing? Oh, I mean, I think it's great that Trump is so transparent with the American people. Honestly, just absolutely amazing. That's a little pixelated. Could do a little bit better.
the American flag right after. This is definitely the worst time to be the ripe age of 18 to 25 because we going first if the draft happens. Unfortunately, high school class of 2025, you only got a couple of seconds of freedom before you were cooked. I've been thinking to myself for a while, in a hypothetical unlikely scenario of them actually doing a draft, the government doesn't realize that
It would not work with Gen Z.
Gen Z has got to be the worst generation for them to try and get on the war train with them. And this isn't even mentioning about all the femboys and furries we got. Not even talking about how half of us are either morbidly obese or twigs. One of the main reasons
It's true. Men are not men anymore. Gen Alpha probably has more men than Gen Z. Millennials probably have more men than Gen Z. Gen Z is cooked. I'm Gen Z. And I had 3 girlfriends in the past, and I don't want to look for another one. Because I've determined that women be crazy, and it's not worth my time or effort. Is that sad? It's sad. It's so disappointing.
I think war wouldn't work with Gen Z is because the propaganda age of America is officially dead. And not just America, any country that has some form of free press is absolutely cooked. The reason why people back then were so patriotic and would do anything to be in the army in war times, you had kids who were in high school lying about their age so they could serve in the army, was because so many people trusted what the politicians said and how the media said things. Politicians were treated as saintly figures that would never do bad for the American people because why would they? They sit on podiums and do cool speeches about us fighting for our democracy and freedom. And now we look back at certain conflicts America got in and realize that there was no point in us being there. Like almost nobody nowadays thinks the Vietnam War was something America needed to get involved in. And it's crazy how the #1 superpower for military in all things lost to that were setting up Looney Tune ad traps in the ground.
My grandfather told me about this. Are you serious?
Also, the Iraq War is universally seen as a dumb war that shouldn't have happened by people
Incredibly
now. Like, even
dumb.
Trump and Obama agree on that. That's probably the only thing they agree on. The reasons why these worked, though, is because it was so much easier to push propaganda.
Nah, Trump and Obama agree on a lot more, dude. Did you see him tap his stomach at the funeral? They're bros, dude. You know, if you don't think they're bros outside of policies, you're wrong. All the presidents be bros. They just talk shit on each other because that's what people want to hear.
In the past. Like in the Vietnam War, they were playing TV ads saying this was all about freedom and nothing else. Taking ads out the newspaper saying the only way to be a man is by getting drafted to war. And at the time before social media, everyone basically believed it because that's all that was shown. There wasn't anyone with major platforms that would go against it because they would get censored. And everyone watched media through a few news channels which would all say the same thing. During the Iraq War though, that's when you first started seeing people actually start speaking up about things. Saying, hey, maybe going into a country and murdering innocent civilians and committing war crimes isn't a good thing. Just maybe. But social media was still in its baby phases at the time it was going on, so there was still a lot of enthusiasm for it. But now with Gen Z, we grew up in the most free era of social media. No one would go because everyone would know it would be another lie that the government is doing. And the military's numbers have already been dropping more than ever. People have been making fun of it because they be trying to recruit soldiers anywhere they can now. They've been seen at anime cons. They got whole Twitch channels now. They even got them at NBA games now. I'm not gonna lie, if I'm watching my glorious king LeBron putting up 40 points and a military sergeant comes up to me like, hey son, this game sure is great, right? Have you ever thought of the game of fighting for your country? Like, get the f out my face, bro. I'm watching LeBron. Even if there was a chance it was true and we were rightfully defending ourselves from evil, the US government has lost so much trust in the public, no one would believe them. I don't know a single man I've asked in Gen Z that said they would actually go if they got drafted. Most would rather just take the prison time or fine than go. And looking at it in the long run, it's not even
Will not take the prison time. Rather go for the 5 years.
even that bad. It's 5 years in prison max if you don't go. So it's either you get 5 years max in prison for not going and stay alive, or go and potentially get obliterated on the battlefield by a missile straight to the head. Hey man, I don't know about y'all, but I'm throwing a party in that prison for every day we not in the warfield. I got a friend that served in the military for a couple of years, and even he said nowadays he'd rather take the prison time. Also, the younger generation has realized we don't want to fight a war because of a politician's beef. Like, why don't y'all fight it yourselves? Why I gotta grab the military equipment while you sit on a plane watching from above drinking champagne? They should host a boxing match every year for world leaders, and whoever wins, their country gets the most benefits for that year. Looking at our leader for now though, yeah, we might be losing for the next couple of years.
Yeah, but he would cheat to win. He would cheat. He would rig it. The best part about Trump is he knows how to win by any means necessary. Scamming be damned. That's why he's such a good president.
That happens. Also, growing up in this age, we've gotten exposed to how badly these war injuries leave people. This right here might be the sole reason Gen Z would never join in. There's always a chance you could end up with one of those. People in war lose body parts I didn't even know was possible to lose. The day I'm at war and they try to obliterate my meat, the whole place is getting torn down. They should have tried to stop those images from coming out, because who the hell would want to potentially get involved in a war after seeing pictures like that? And it's crazy because it could happen at any moment to you on the warfield. One day you're chilling in the breezy weather of Iraq in 115-degree weather. You're vibing, then you look to the right and see a man with 20 cc's of C4 strapped to his chest running to you at Usain Bolt speed. And now you end up looking like Two-Face back at home. I'm not sitting here and saying all of America's wars were unjustified though. Like, I always appreciate the veterans out there who fought, because most of the time, even if...
I mean, no matter if it's a vet of any kind, you have to appreciate what they've done. But at the same time, I want to bring this up for a second. Okay? A vet, where we spend $859 billion on the military. Why do we have to donate to vets? Why are they homeless? Hell no, I ain't donating. Hell no. I pay taxes to donate to veterans. They deserve, with our taxpayer money, to have good lives. But they don't. You know why? Because the people are either retards or they're siphoning the money into their account. Let's say you go become president with $300,000. Okay, $300,000. You're president, and then when you leave office, you have $500 billion. Now, how does that work? Yeah. Oh wait, it's called that you did something illegal in office, but you got away with it because you were president. Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah.
The war ended up being unjustified. A lot joined to fight for justified reasons and what they were told, and then felt bad when they realized it was a lie. And also for World War II, America was justified in a lot, like, let's be real, mainly making sure Adolf didn't end up owning the world. But like I said, no matter how justified a conflict may be, the trust is gone from the public. It'll take a real hard campaign to have the youth agree the government is totally not lying in what they're saying. And the president we have now is totally not a liar, right?
One thing I can promise you this. I will always tell you the truth.
He don't even believe that himself. Do you see his face? He was probably holding back a laugh so hard in his mind. That's the thing that's most important in a war. Having a person that the younger generation wholeheartedly trusts. It's a reason why a lot of dictatorships completely ban social media. Because they can fully propaganda the younger generation to look up to the leader and they're all gonna believe in them. Even having someone that they trust is hard, but having someone that the younger generation doesn't trust, yeah, it's gonna be damn near impossible for the government to try to get us on the war train with that. No matter your view on Trump, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that most of Gen Z does not have a good view on him. You take a room of 10 of us, and I would say at least...
Absolutely wrong. You're wrong. A lot of people from Gen Z love Trump now. It's not even close. In 2016, up to 2020, not a lot of people from Gen Z, but now, it's wrong. Men out the ass love Trump. Women love Trump. Everyone loves Trump. The majority vote, the popular vote proved that in itself. It's that we were hit in the nutsack repeatedly, and we did everything we could to try to get ourselves out of it. That's what Gen Z did. And Trump was our way to do that. So I think many people like Trump now.
8 people are gonna say they don't like him. And look, like I've said in the past, I'm not even one of those that's a Trump hater 24/7 and spends all day writing hate articles on him. But if you truly think the younger generation would fully be behind him declaring a war on another country, you're delusional. Bro, we just had a protest around the whole country against what he's doing. And because he's commander-in-chief and can set whatever war policies he wants, I would not trust what the this would implement. Like, what if he implements a policy where if your meat is smallest, you gotta be the first to go because you probably can't repopulate the population after it drops from all the casualties? All of us would be like, I don't know if I can trust the man leading the war that says this on stage.
Because they asked me what I'd do, and I said, I'm gonna bomb the out of them.
Imagine he forgot there was
Perfect.
a couple of soldiers on the warfield and threw one right in the middle of the fight. Also, another reason why the younger generation wouldn't be motivated to join in is because we really got nothing to look forward to and have no hope for an American dream. Our economy's still from COVID and inflation is still going on. No one can get a job on the mainland already. And most of Gen Z ain't gonna get a house in their lifetime. At least back then, when you fought a war, you had those things to look forward to. You came back and could work a shift as a cashier and buy a house in 2 years. Nowadays, instead of that, you're gonna come back and have no work available to you, probably still be living with your parents. All the femcells on Twitter and TikTok are gonna be laughing at the men dying on the warfield. And don't count on the government to help you either after. It's so sad to me that there's people out there that served the country and helped keep it alive, only for them to end up homeless with no help from the government. In what world should homeless veterans even be a thing, bro? We spend $880 billion on the military a year. Everyone who served in war should be eating good and kicking back for the rest of their lives. They did something that none of us wanted to do, and the politicians, and then got the end of the stick. If I was them, I would take back all of my service and stay my ass on the mainland. The government has tried to right those wrongs and make better benefits for people, but you still end up with people who got left behind and have nothing after. The only reason why I would even join, to be honest, is the benefits. I just have to sit there and pray that a war doesn't actually happen. Because for real, I'd only want the free insurance and vacations. The warfield is a different conversation. I'm gonna have to take my prison time for that game. Anyways, that's gonna be it. For anyone in Gen Z that's actually worried about a draft in war, I'm gonna let you know right now, there's about a 95% chance no draft happens. Like, first off, half of our paycheck if you live in the United States goes to the military. We spend $880 billion a year on the military, and Iran spends a whopping $10 billion. Their whole military operation would get wiped in like 2 nanoseconds if they actually tried to attack civilians. They would learn the true reason why we don't have free healthcare. The last thing they'd ever want to do is let all politicians put their political beliefs aside and let Congress come together and let Trump do whatever the he'd want to do in a war. It wouldn't matter if their allies got involved.
Nah, no one would attack us because no one understands what Trump would do. Trump is so crazy that if someone attacked us, immediate, unconditional obliteration. Like, it would be hellfire raining from the sky. That's why no one's attacking us. That's why no one would even bother to do anything to us.
Which I don't think they would even do. They would have so much more to lose with Iran, like it wouldn't be worth it. Also, they wouldn't do it because I'm here. They know I don't play when I say leave us alone. Anyways, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, I love you guys consensually. And until next time, I'm out.
Yeah. Very good video. I didn't agree with everything he said, but honestly, I don't think I had to. I think it was very how do you say it? Not applicable because Trump came to peace with that war, but it's also very understanding to people in my generation that hell no, I'm not going to a draft. You think I'm going to a draft? You think if there was a draft, my ass would be out in the field somewhere. Anything you could do, be like, yeah, I'm on essential service. I got drugged. I mean, anything. No, you're right. Gen Z would not go to war, and if we did, it would be just sad. It would be sad. We'd be rolling around. It's hot. It's hot. You know? I mean, I just can't see it. I can't see it. Especially with all the femboys. They got, look how sexy I am. No, it just wouldn't work. They would get shot in 3 minutes. So, no, I don't think so. I don't think this would work. I think he's completely right. I agree with him. And, yeah, I'll catch you all tomorrow for the next one.